program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, and you are invited to participate, to send your comments, questions to the issues that we'll be discussing here in the next 1 hour. And we now invite, I beg your pardon, we now invite our guest, and we start with the Office of the High Commission for Human Rights has concluded a one-day regional dialogue with recommendations for effective independence, collaboration, accountability, capacity building, and the setting up of a regional network of anti-corruption institutions, human rights commission, and civil society organizations in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and beyond. For more on the outcome of the regional dialogue, we have in the studio Commissioner Hassan Sambayaja from the Human Rights Commission and Evelyn Kuyate of the ACC. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning and good morning, viewers.
Good morning and good morning, Sierra Leone.
Okay, so you've just concluded your visit to Liberia, and first we want to know the purpose of your visit for the benefit of the public. I want to start with you from the ACC.
Thank you very much. The main purpose of the dialogue in Liberia was to strengthen collaboration between the Human Rights Commission Sierra Leone, the Anti-Corruption Commission, and also that of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission and the Human Rights Commission also in Liberia. That was the main purpose, to strengthen collaboration.
So why do we have to go to, why do you have to go across our borders to bring in this collaboration? Is it because you want to make sure you go after those that do commit corrupt offenses in Sierra Leone and then they move over to Liberia? Is it because you want to bring them back to book?
That's maybe one of the reasons.
Okay.
But again, in May, from the 26th to the 31st, our Liberian counterparts, and also from that of the Human Rights Commission, was in Sierra Leone on a study tour. And so this one-day dialogue forum was as a result of that earlier study tour that the came for. And we believe that in the sub-region, we are all neighbors. We have Liberia, we have Guinea. If we collaborate, these two institutions in Sierra Leone and that of Liberia, currently we have somebody who has committed a corruption offense here and is in Liberia. We may to understand. So that is one of the reasons. It will make the fight against corruption very easy, and it will also make the advocacy for human rights very easy as well, if we partner with these sister countries.
Okay, let me go to you, Commissioner Yaja from the Human Rights Commission. This is not the first time we've heard of the Human Rights Commission making a visit to Liberia. What is it that you want to get from Liberia, or are they learning from you?
Well, you know, in terms of learning, they say no man is an island. In as much as we have a lot to offer, but in the process, each time there's interaction, there is bound to be exchange of ideas from both sides. Like you rightly said, our Liberian counterparts were here long ago when our own commission had gained what we call A status. In the establishment of human rights commissions across the world, we have a system where human rights commissions can be evaluated based on their work and statuses are awarded. So the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone had gained A status, and our counterparts in Liberia also had A status at some point, but they lost the A status and they came to understudy from us how to get it back. And so shortly after that study tour, they were re-established to the A status again. That is point number one. And point number two, also remember, we just had our elections months earlier before they are theirs. So we went across also to share our experience with them. So like the one-day dialogue we also had was not just only a dialogue session to foster collaboration, as my colleague said, but also it was meant to share experiences. The viewers who agree with us that the Anti-Corruption Commission of Sierra Leone and the Human Rights Commission of Commission of Sierra Leone as well have made a lot of landmark since their establishment. The ACC had its own accolades, and the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone also has its own accolades. All that put together, you know, we have a system where people can learn from each other, and it is really more proper, instead of going to outer space, to start to look from the immediate neighborhood. So our counterparts in Liberia thought before they could have gone far away, where maybe the context might be different, as just next door neighbors who might have similar context. And so they came, they had to understudy from us, and we now went to, and a platform was established where we really had exchange of ideas.
So, Commissioner, in this your dialogue, this your one-day dialogue, the recommendation for effective independence, accountability, collaboration. So, independence caught my attention. So, is it that the Human Rights Commission has not been that independent over the year? The reason why it is stated effective independence?
No, that's not the case. You remember I said we share experience. Based on the discussion we have with our own counterpart institution in Liberia, and especially from one or two of their commissioners, that was one thing that came up clearly. That yes, you might have, the acts do not state clearly the issue of independence, although there are issues described around it. So in our dialogue and in our discussion, it came out that there should be a review of policy and also the review of that act to be able to state clearly what independence is. That is point number one. Point number two, when we also talk about independence, it doesn't mean independence and absorbs you from accountability. As national human rights institutions, we could be independent, but we're also accountable to the people. For instance, at the end of every year, we will do what we call our State of Human Rights report. We submit, we present to President, and the next thing we do is to submit to Parliament. And we know Parliament is a representative of the people. And once we have submitted our report, it is laid before Parliament for 21 days, and after that discussion starts. So these are the issues of independence. And independence also can come in two ways. You have administrative independence and operational independence. The international document which was consulted and that is being consulted to establish all human rights commissions across the world, they call it the Paris Principles. It prescribes that in as much as national human rights commissions or institutions are independent, but they must enjoy budgetary support from their government. So in as much as we are independent, but the government must fund us, and it's the government that pays our salary. So the independence comes to the operational independence.
So Commissioner Yaja, I want to hold you there to be more critical on this. You went to Liberia, look at some of their laws and discover that their acts, they have some lacunas that stifles their independence.
Yes.
So from a critical perspective, I want to know, or someone critical out there want to know, how independent is our own National Human Rights Commission to recommend to Liberia for them to repeal their own act when it comes to the independence line?
I love that question. Very interesting question. I want to say that the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone is very independent. I've spent 20 years in that commission. I've gone through the hands of several commissioners who have come and gone. And one of the things this commission jealously guides, that will protect with all of our lives, is the independence of the commission. I want you also, viewers, to know that, like I said, we have an international body that reviews the activities of the commission after every 4 years. We are first reviewed in 2011, 2016, 2021, and very recently, where we are called A status. And one of the reasons why those reviews are made is to make sure that the institution enjoys its independence. And over the years, to tell you that we are very independent, we have taken on governments of various regimes, very strategic issues which the commission could have otherwise just turned its blind eye. But because of the independence of the commission, we have always viewed the bigger picture. So we have always come to perform our functions in the best interest of the people. And so I want to say here that this commission is very independent, and we have not received any interference from whatever quarter as we perform our duties.
So, Madam Koyate is still laboring on the independent side of it. You are from the ACC. So, our independence is our own ACC to recommend to Liberia, to make some recommendation for them to adjust some of their laws for them to become independent. Our independence are our own ACC here.
Thank you very much. The Anti-Corruption Act, which mandates us to fight corruption, talks about the independence of the Commission. And apart from that, looking at the Commission, we are very, very much independent. You are here, you're a Sierra Leonean. You know how many people, if we were not independent, I'm sure we wouldn't have investigated such people. You have listened to our press releases for any investigation we carry out. We do out press releases.
So Madam, I just want to come in. There's this perception from the public that you only go after small people, leaving those big ones behind. Is that true?
That is not true. And that is not correct. As a citizen, and as I keep on mentioning the SLBC, because you are one people we always share our press releases with. And you know that we have been going again, we have been going after small fishes, we have been going after minas in our local language, we have been going after kutas, we have been going after barracudas. And as I said earlier, we have various nets for all these people. When it's for mina, we use the mina net. When it's for barracuda, we use the barracuda net. You've heard about the Scorpion Squad. We perform our job without fear or favor. So you spoke about putting out press releases whenever you have issues or whenever people are indicted. One issue I would say that we are still waiting for that report, because normally you always publish your report. We are still waiting for the report of the SLBC. Yes. I'm sure we have done that.
Well, it's not public. You did not make that report public.
We normally don't make our reports public, but our press releases...
For your findings.
Our findings, our press releases contains findings of our investigations.
Okay, so...
and I'm sure that press release is out, which contains the findings of our investigations.
Oh, for the SLBC?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Madam Koyate. Continue to stay with us. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. And if you want to participate, you are invited to do so by sending your comments and views to the number on your screen, or you do find us on our Facebook page at Slbc TV Live and on all our social media platforms. We now go to another issue that is very, very dear to us.
Each year on the 1st of October, people across the world observe United Nations International Day of Older People to raise awareness of opportunities and challenges faced by aging populations and to mobilize the wider community to address difficulties faced by older people. The day provides an opportunity to acknowledge the contribution, wisdom, dignity, and needs of our senior citizens and to rededicate our efforts to strengthen care and support systems that honor the dignity of older persons and caregivers. The theme for this year's commemoration is Aging with Dignity, the importance of strengthening care and supporting systems for older persons worldwide. In Sierra Leone, the Otomi Organization for the Aged DOFA was established to utilize advocacy and revenue mobilization to promote the welfare of the aged. In the studio, we have Abigail George from DOFA. Good morning and welcome.
She's the Chief Executive Officer.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Sierra.
Good morning, viewers.
So, Madam George, are you a senior citizen?
More than a senior citizen. I'm well over 60. If you want my birth certificate or my passport, I can present.
You look like a sweet 16.
Because of the job I do.
So this year's theme says, aging with dignity. What can you please just put it into context for us, the younger generation, to understand this thing?
Yeah, old age is a wonderful experience. if along the line you have dotted your I's and cut your T's. A lot of times people talk about burning your candles from both ends. A lot of people make mistake. You don't kill them because they made mistake. Some were ignorant mistakes. So if old age catches with you and maybe you're on the downside of life, I want to believe that you should be accorded the dignity you deserve as an older person, the respect you deserve as an older person. What DOFA is now doing is to teach the younger generation how to live one step at a time, how to do the right things, to eat well, to carry themselves well, to adapt useful endeavors to help them to enhance old age with dignity. So I just want to believe that maybe if one person or the other or group of people had made mistakes in the past and they are suffering now because they are over 60, they deserve to be treated with love and respect.
So, Madam George, you know you are well over 60.
Yes, please.
And you resemble a 30 years old woman. Can you please just give us, share some experience of how you carried yourself to your youthful age that enabled you at this age looking this shiny for, us, the younger generation, to learn from some of you guys?
I made a lot of mistakes, to be very honest. I made a lot of mistakes. I did almost everything every other young lady did except to prostitute. Everything. I took alcohol, I smoked, I did everything. But when I was turning, I think, I can't remember whether it was my 21st birthday, because I was fortunate to have a very good job. I was the youngest in the company, a finance company. I think it was my 21st birthday. I tried all of the A, B, and C's, and I promised myself, it was either my 21st or 25th birthday, I promised myself that I would turn to a new leaf. And I stopped smoking. I was still drinking, but maybe a glass of wine or two. But so what I'm trying to say, people do make mistakes. And it's not because I am looking the way I'm looking now means that I didn't do wrong things. But the earlier you realize that what I am doing now, even eating, if you don't eat right, you will pay for it. When we were on the radio, there's another gentleman, Padwati. When you see that man, if he tells you his age, you wouldn't believe. He's stressed on exercise. So these are the things I do. And now because of my job, I run Yami Adum Enterprises. We talk about eating right, dressing well, and all of that. So I don't want my customers to come to the shop and say, physician, heal thyself. So if I talk against bleaching, which affects older people, if you go to town, you will see the way some people are. Good morning. Their looks is, I don't really know how to describe it, with all the patches and the sunburns and all of that. When you use the wrong things at an early age, you're exposed to skin cancer, sunstroke, and the likes. People don't know that in Sierra Leone we have pure shea butter. I whip shea butter, I use shea butter on my skin. So when you go to my shop, I teach you how to eat right, how to handle your skin. And our shop is the only shop in Sierra Leone that you will go to our shop and with your money you refuse to sell. Because I always tell people we trade with conscience. So, you want to know my secrets? Come to my shop and I'll teach you how to look young.
So, Madam George, talking about the age, this is a very important issue. We've seen people in prominent positions, the way they've ended in this country, just because they don't have people to look after them after their retirement age, or maybe they did not prepare for their retirement age. But with the coming of your organization, DOFA, we've seen drastic change. You know, though for you guys are always around. The other day, the contestants for this year's Miss Oldie School, they came here and they were you know, we know what they did for us. So, what difference do you think your organization, Tony, we create in the lives of older people?
Well, what we normally do is to give a helping hand in every area, whether it's shelter, whether it's medical, whether it's counseling, whether it's grooming. And we also engage older women who are into crafts. Tomorrow is a special day at 10 Albert Street. It's our birthday and also our monthly free medical service. So you people are invited, you can come over. We treat for free over 100 people for every month. We do treat more than 100 old people every month. Everything is free. We give them breakfast, free breakfast, and we give them their medical supplies.
So do you have them registered or you just randomly get them to come to you?
As long as you step into 10 Albert Street on the first Wednesday, we don't want to know whether you are blue, black, orange, Christian or Muslim. As long as you're there on time, you have free medical service.
So what you are talking about involves a lot of money, and we all know sponsorship or partnership in Sierra Leone is one thing that is very difficult to come by. How do you go about sourcing funds?
We are grateful to God Almighty. We are really, really grateful. We have individuals, we have organizations that will step in. We have some people that will just send you butter for the breakfast because they know we are doing free breakfast. We have bakeries that will give us bread. We have pharmacies that will chip in. Some people celebrate their birthdays. Instead of celebrating with the elite, they will send medical supplies. We have people, but it's never enough. Can you imagine attending 100 patients? And most of the ailments with older person, it's either their sugar or their pressure. You hardly find malaria. It normally happens, but you hardly find malaria. So we are asking and we are appealing. We're celebrating our 4th year and we are appealing to the government and the good people of this country. SLBC, you're doing well. You have invited us to use this platform to advocate. That is the way you can support us. So we are using the same medium to appeal to other people to come on board. Nothing is too small. Send us bread, send us medical supply, in pressure machines, whatever you can lay your hands on. Because tomorrow you will get old.
All right, thank you very much. She is Madam Abigail George and she's here to represent DOFA, but she's also here. We'll have to tell you after this commercial break.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Welcome back. The program you're watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Well, before we go to another issue, let's take a traffic update. Let's now join Mohammed Simbi Kuma at Poti Junction in the eastern of Freetown.
Good morning and welcome to Poti Junction in the east of Freetown. This is a very busy road, as you can see. Commuters use this particular road to and from town. Of course, Poda as we usually call them, are not allowed to use this particular spot except after 10. So most of them are using the old road. Of course, taxis, tricycles and bikes are actually helping the situation. But most of the taxis and tricycles are stopping halfway. They are not going up to Upgon, and that is really challenging for commuters. So transportation here has been a major challenge. And also, this particular spot, usually there is no traffic, except for some 2 or 3 weeks when there was that 7-story building collapse at Shell. But normally, there is a free flow in this particular road, and it is very evident, as you can see from this particular spot. So continue to stay with Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in this particular segment of Good Morning Sierra Leone. I am Mohamed Simbi Koma. Cheers. Good morning.
Welcome back. That was a traffic update from Poti Junction in the east end of Freetown with Mohamed Simbi Koma. Well, this is George in the studio, is the CEO of Nyami Adum Enterprise.
Yes, and they have been providing this for us. They have been for over how many years?
For over a decade. For over a decade. And they have been a major sponsor for this Good Morning Sierra Leone program. We want to give a tap on the back for Mrs. George and Nyami Adum Enterprises. And we expect more goodies. So
we are definitely going to host her here to talk about the products in that.
The product. And she, off camera, she made mention of something catchy about marriage.
Yes, she wants you to marry as a Limba instead of you marrying as you dressing as a Nigerian.
Yes.
Madam George. Nyami Adum. I know you don't want to say anything about Nyami Adum because you are here for Dufa, but you have to say it because you have been our major sponsor for Good Morning Sierra Leone.
Well, as I said, I'm here on behalf of DOFA, and I am extremely grateful that the person that started off with me as Nyami Adum, the person that was my backbone when I came to TV. I am not the television type of person, but she convinced me that I can do well on TV, and she's here. And that is why I am a coordinator and board member of DOFA, because she's giving her best. When she told me that she's putting together an organization to look at the welfare of the aged, I know she will succeed. I know, because how she had handled my own project, you know what can come out of some people. She had handled my own project as her own. So she having now to take care of the people, older people, I know she will do well. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
So we actually wanted to know about Nyami Adum, but we know you don't want to say anything about it for this program, but we'll definitely get you in the studio.
Nyami Adum is your one-stop shop for made in Ghana goods. You think about Ghana, authentic products, whether it's food stop, whether it's clothing. Check us at number 1A Lower Waterloo Street, now Takoradi Drive, officially Takoradi Drive, the first street that has been named by City Council, named after one of the biggest cities in Ghana.
All right, thank you very much, Madam George, and we wish you all the best, and we'll definitely get you here on the program. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We still have the Human Rights Commission in the studio, and also from the Anti-Corruption Commission we still have Madam Priate. Now, Madam Priate, you made some recommendations after this dialogue. Do you want to discuss or share some of these recommendations with the public?
Thank you very much again. One of the recommendations was to have an MOU with our Liberian counterpart, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, and also the Human Rights Commission. In Sierra Leone back home, we do have an MOU with the Human Rights Commission. And also one of the recommendations is to have a regional network of CSOs We believe they are also very important in the fight against corruption and also in human rights advocacy. We said we should have a network, and we also said we should be doing joint programs together, like awareness raising programs, because having these recommendations without informing, letting the people know what it's all about is just a waste of time. We said we should also be having awareness raising campaigns, both regional and home. I think these are some of the recommendations that comes out of the dialogue.
So how does these recommendations help in the fight against corruption in Sierra Leone?
These recommendations will help greatly in the fight against corruption, because the fight against corruption is not just the anti-corruption business, it's the business of all Sierra Leoneans. And you will agree with me, we have limited staff, and so we need the civil society organizations to assist us. We need other law enforcement agencies to assist us in the fight. So where we are not, these groups are there. They will give us information. They will also help in the fight against corruption.
So Commissioner Yaja, aside of the recommendation you made for them to repeal their Human Rights Act, what other recommendation did you make to your Liberian counterparts that you may like to share with the public?
We made recommendations along capacity building. Capacity is never enough as things unfold every day. The more issues become contemporary, the more the need for capacity building. That is point number one. Another recommendation we did was to do joint monitoring of human rights and anti-corruption issues on both sides of the border. And also, we also recommended that, it's good to catch them young, speaking about the younger generation, because we shared an experience where we have established more than 70 peace and human rights clubs across the country here. And most of those students that are in those clubs serve as peer educators to their peers, We start engaging them, mold their minds in relation to human rights. We also think they should start doing the same, to talk about human rights. And also the issue of messaging and awareness raising. For us, it has worked here very well, where we generate messages in different languages, and that one will be aired or, played across the country. So designing of human rights message is also very, very key. Then we have also, recommended that from time to time, we should be having a bigger platform, and this platform will have made room for the establishment of a regional or sub-regional, if you like, sub-regional network. The more, the merrier. And like we said, there are a lot of porous borders if you consider Liberia and Sierra Leone. People can just go in and out like that. But if we would have established, a sub-regional network, the sub-regional network will now comprise of the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone, the Anti-Corruption Commission here, and for them they call it the Independent National Human Rights Commission in Liberia, and also the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the LACC, and civil society organizations that are in the field of human rights.
So, Commissioner Yaja, you recommended that the bill capacity in Sierra Leone. Does the Human Rights Commission has that type of capacity for you to recommend to others to build their own capacity?
We have excess capacity. I will proudly say we have excess capacity. I said earlier I've been in this commission for more than 20 years. And over these 20 years I've gone through the different ranks in the commission, and for each rank or each case that you find yourself, you are exposed to a lot of training. I came in as a human rights officer, I went as a regional human rights officer, as registrar of complaints and complaints manager, and when the opportunity came for recruitment of commissioners, it was my own colleagues, because I was also the president of the Staff Welfare Association, who nominated me and pursued the process that I think I should come in. So we have a lot of expertise seated within the commission. Okay. So sometimes we bubble up with expertise and we are finding avenues. It's like when somebody goes to look for an institution to teach, because you have capacity, so you want to pass it out, pass it over. And that's the only legacy we can leave.
All right.
You cannot retire with your expertise.
Commissioner, quickly
It's good
before
to
you
look
go.
for an avenue.
In few months or a month ago, you published a report about the some complaints you received from the public, and there were monies you said the Sierra Leone police should pay. How far have you gone in getting those monies?
You are making reference to the public inquiry that you did.
Yes.
This public inquiry, was looking at violations or abuses committed. It was not only by law enforcement agencies. We also gave an opportunity.
But theirs was prominent.
Yes, I agree. I've just wanted to give you a scope because you have just brought it
No,
first.
because we've hosted
Okay.
people,
Yes.
so we
Okay.
just want to know how far.
So
you've gone.
yes, the processes have started. We have received unofficial, feedback. So we are waiting for the official feedback. But we also have to go by our act, where we make recommendations and institutions do not honor it. There's a next stage to take them for contempt.
All right, thank you very much, and we wish you all the best, Madam Kuyate. Thank you for being part of the program, and to you, Mr. Yaja.
Thank you.
The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, and we still continue with Dofa. And one of us, she's one of us, is now in the studio with us, and she's the founder and CEO of Dofa. She's Doreen Bai. Good morning, Doreen. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm
This
happy
used
to be here.
your seat.
Definitely. I've now changed my seat.
Yeah, she used to
I'm
be-
now on the hot seat.
She used to be-
One of the plans we have is to do more in terms of the advocacy, for older persons, because for 4 years now, Dofa, we are calling people to come on board, and we've been pampering people to see how they can come on board, including the government, but to want to see how we can get the attention of the government, the attention of organizations, institutions, because for me it's very sad, looking at the way some of our elderly people end up in life. And these elderly people, they have contributed immensely towards society. I will give example. We now have some old journalists, some old doctors, some old lawyers, you name it. If you see the way they are living their life, it's very pathetic, considering the contributions they have made over the years to this country. And it's so sad as to the way we treat the elderly. We do not prioritize the issue of the elderly. We think it is not the concern of the people, of the government, institutions, organizations, and it should be the sole
properly for the gray hair. That is why they are suffering. Okay. So this is the perception why many people they tend not to pay that much attention to elderly people.
I will not agree with you on that, because if you look at other countries wherein they have facilities for old people, you go to Europe, they have concession when it comes to maybe using the buses, going to certain places, they are concession. There are homes, very good homes, wherein if your children refuse to look after you, they will take care of you, will not even miss your family. If we do not have structures in place, whether you save billions of leones at your old age, if your children do not have the fear of God, you will still suffer. That is why for us, we are yearning to seek. What can we do with that money? Can we use that money to buy a bag of rice? And that is why for me, it pains me so much when we go to NASIT and we ask them to support us, to give back to the aged. They will say, oh, we have supported King George's VI home. King George's VI home is only about 40 inmates at that home, and we are catering for thousands. When you look at the statistics of elderly people, you have over 300,000 aged people in this country. So do you want to say a big institution like NASIT, they will just sit down at their office and say we have supported 40 aged, whilst a little organization like DOFA, go to us, you will see we've supported thousands. We are also supporting those in the provinces, and this should be the responsibility of the government. We all know that we should not be asking what government should do for us. We should also come with something to the table. DOFA, we have come with something to the table. I did not sit back and say, oh, let me leave it to government. All of us as an organization, DOFA, we came together, we set up this organization. And yet still, we have to be begging some of these people in our authorities to say, please come to this program and mingle, interact with these elderly people. Do you only need this elderly when it comes for election to use their votes. After voting, you don't need it anymore. Even when we be asking for support that we want to build a house for an elderly, a politician will be looking the write up and ignore as if he or she is not concerned. But when it comes to election, you want the elderly to vote for you. I think we should. Some of us, I don't know the way. How do we sleep at night seeing the elderly suffering? But when on voting day, you want them to vote, and some of them, they don't even know that some of these elderly go to their party's office and do not even have a food to eat, but they will come to Dofa after they have gone to their offices and come and say, I've not eaten since this morning. You don't even care because you do not even ask the person. You think because he or she is putting on a very nice clothes, he or she is okay. They are not okay. We have to be talking to these people. That is why all of us should come together. The issue of elderly should not be politicized. Okay. It should not be politicized. It is something all of us, whether you are green, you are black, you are red, or mauve or pink, let's treat this with seriousness. All of us will get told. Quite recently, I saw the former president of Ghana. He's now using a wheelchair. Who thought he was going to end up in that way? As an elderly, he's now using a wheelchair. Now you are active. You are holding those positions. We are going with our papers, asking you to support us. You are refusing. Tomorrow, maybe you'll be at the village or you'll be in one corner thinking that Tofa will help us when you are supposed to be in that position to help us now get a better structure, better policy, which you too will enjoy at your old age. So for me, the time of pampering people is over. We should do the right thing. For me, I don't want to get old and suffer. I want government to do the right thing. I want everybody, including international organizations. UNDP, we are seeing them supporting organizations in other countries like Nigeria. I'm part of an international platform. And sometimes I ask them, what is wrong with Sierra Leone? You go to UNDP, they will tell you, oh, we don't work with organizations, we work with ministry. Yes, we know. But with the organizations, we are the ones interfacing with these people. We know their problems better. So work with us too, like what you are doing in other countries like Ghana, Nigeria. Do the same thing here in Sierra Leone. It should not be different when it comes to supporting us.
We want to know, now that you've mentioned that some of these institutions, we say they only work with ministries and agencies. We want to know how far you've gone in making sure that these institutions or ministries or agencies that are supposed to supervise your organization, how far have you gone in making sure they know about your organization? It's
sad the way they treat us sometimes. Sometimes
social welfare too.
No, for social welfare, I would say we are blessed to have a wonderful minister. It is a blessing to have that kind of woman. Sometimes I have to ask her to give me her own money to help me, because sometimes I will have a huge food stuff. I want to go and distribute it. I don't even have fuel to go to the communities to give to the elderly people. We have to go and meet her. We have other few ministers that I will call and beg to say, please help us, which is not something we should be begging. These are some things that, okay, government will say, okay, whenever you want to go and do donation, since people have provided it, look at these people, use it, go and meet these elderly people. They are suffering. The poverty rate within the elderly people is too much. I haven't, served this country, and then at old age you live like a pauper, like you've not done anything, you've not contributed anything to this country. It's very sad. Sometimes we have to beg some of them, please. There is a program. The elderly people want to interact with you. They will pretend as if they are not going to get old. And please, we want to appeal. Some of you, you know yourself, I'll be sending you text messages. You ignore my text message. But for me, I am very persistent. I am very disturbing. I don't get tired until I get what I want. For me, I believe I'm a go-getter. So I will disturb and disturb and disturb. Because this time around, the way we are focusing on women and girls, it should be the same way. The energy we have for women and girls is the same energy we should have for the elderly, because they too will get old. When you get old, do you think you are going to be a girl forever? Do you think you are going to be strong forever? So start thinking about it.
So as time is not happening this morning, this is October, and normally in October you have your Miss Old is Gold for our senior citizen. Yes, last year I was there, and this year I'm getting ready for the contest. So let's quickly go through.
Of course, Miss All is Gold this year, we are coming out very big this year. And this year it's not just about the aged mothers. We're also coming out with the men.
Wow.
The fathers. They'll be doing fashion. you know, we want them also to swag. It doesn't mean old age is not a sickness. It's not something you should sit and be sleeping all every day. You just stay in one corner. We want to bring them out. Let people see that we have ageable fathers who can take the runway. They can do fashion. So if people are having events, they need the elderly to do fashion, just come and meet us. We'll give you the elderly. So we need designers to come on board to support us. The 12th of October is the Miss Oldie's Gold Beauty Pageant. It's going to take place at Freetown City Hall. We want everybody to come out in thousands to be at that venue, because it's one of the ways we are celebrating the month of the aged. We want to do something to put smile on the faces of the elderly, and we all know what the aged mothers are going through, and that is why we started with the aged mothers, because when we were a child, mothers, they are the ones suffering. Even at old age, I still have 90% of them who still take care of the home. They will be coming every day at my office. Sometimes I don't even go home with anything. Sometimes I will not even eat a lunch, because what I have in my bag, I have to give to them, because they will tell you, we have not eaten, oh, my children is not going to school. Sometimes I have to be calling other people who are working with children organizations to say, I have this aged, please, how can you help with school fees? How can you help us with this and that? So the issues are many, like as my James always said, the issues are many. It's the same for the elderly. Their own issues is so many that we next year want to start be talking about successes, and we believe that His Excellency the President, the First Lady, and others in authority.
So now that you've got the President as one of your
constituents, and we are very proud of that.
So
we are very proud, and it's a blessing to have him in that, getting to that age. Not everybody gets to 60.
Sure.
And you see, for me, I always see him as somebody who has aged successfully. He is still active. You not even know, unless we had it this year that he is now 60. And for some of us, we are happy who are working with the elderly people. Not everybody. Some people at 50, they have started using walking stick. Some of them are using wheelchair, and he's still working all over with all the pressure he's having. So we believe that his constituents, they should feel that they have their own special person, at that level. So we want the President to show that energy for us.
For this year's celebration.
We've tried. I remember the past minister tried so much to get us to the President, but I believe this platform.
Because he's now your constituent.
Oh yes, he's part. I'm using this platform because I believe he watched television, he listened to the radio to see how he can come on board. We want him to be the chairman, the leader of welfare of the aged.
Madam Doreen Baye,
Okay,
and she is the CEO and founder of DOFA. And quickly before we close, we go to you, Madam George. You are also a constituent of DOFA.
Senior constituent
a very senior citizen. Look at the way she's blushing this morning.
Yes.
And if you tell someone that you are over 60, someone will begin to wonder. You are in the same category with President Bill. You guys are 60, but it's difficult to tell.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's your message to people who are getting old and they think that they should just be moving about the place without looking good?
Well, what I normally tell people is live one day at a time. You have done your part. You have retired. You are not tired. There are other things you can do. Doors are now open for older people to learn craft. Before now, we will see our mothers and our grandmothers doing the canvas slippers. There are many crafts now that are open for older people. If you want to learn to do any craft for your age, according to your ability, you can come over to our place. They can talk to you people. You can come over to our place, or you can source information from DOFA. We will teach you an easy craft that you will do to earn small money to put body and soul together.
All right.
So thank you very much, Madam George, member, or let me say board member of DOFA. Well, before we leave you, let's take headlines of some of our local tabloids. For Independent Observer, Mr. President, can we talk part 15? NRA hosts town hall on revenue performance and government hails PC Sebua Telefarm. And for the Gleaner newspaper, warning joint venture as personal property, Johnny Kausa challenges parliamentary authority. Minister of Works in an alleged sexual harassment scandal. Freetown Mayor bags German African Prize 2024. And for Expo Times, United States Foreign Policy Association honors Sierra Leone's President Bill. Sierra Leone gets $480 million to transform energy sector. RAIC observes Access to Information Day. Ministry of Labour embarks on cash transfer to vulnerable aged. Government holds town hall meeting to promote quality education. And African Diplomatic Corps bids farewell to Ambassador Mohamed Hassan Kaisamba, honors his service to the organization.
And Emmanuel, I have some here for the Apex. It's the headline. They have a banner headline which says Samoa Kamara calls for probe on Shell disaster, and SLP dismissed 24 officers for absenteeism. And finally, former APC flag bearer aspirant joins SLPP. Well, this is how we bring the program to an end for today. Many thanks to our producer Joseph Stanley for putting this program together, and also to the rest of the production team at Broadcasting House. And many thanks to Doreen Barry, the CEO and founder of DOFA, and to Madam Abigail George. She's a member of DOFA.